Hey.
February. Oh, the switcheroo. Okay. Welcome in, guys.
It's the first Monday in February, and so could be a mindful Monday, could be a motivational Monday, but it's the Monday rundown. That's what it is officially. Happy Black Friday. Happy Black History Month, everyone. Also, it's the love month, as Valentine's Day is on the 14th. So I think many people are preparing for that as well.
I think that's one of the actually I let's jump into it before I get too down the rabbit hole. Guys, welcome in. Yeah, no, welcome in. Make sure if this is your first time and you've not already done so, please subscribe, guys, like this video and share. It really goes a long way. It means a lot to us that this content that you guys have been letting us, into your, phones, your break time, whatever it is, or whenever you choose to watch us. We're appreciative of you, and anything you guys can do to help grow this platform would be also greatly appreciated.
Yes. Right. So if this is your first time with us, the Monday rundowns are where Winston and I get to talk about all the things that we don't get to talk about on our Wednesday shows. Just different topics, different things that we've been thinking about, wondering about, and you guys bring us questions too, so keep those coming.
Let us get into it.
All right, my first thoughts. Where there are some parts of this country that parts of American history are being not taught anymore, where it has to do with Black people or the enslavement of Africans, I feel like it is necessary. So that way there is some learning of it. Although I don't even know, I'm thinking specifically of Florida right now. I don't even know if even do they not celebrate Black History Month? Because they can't learn about it in school, because it's essentially been restricted from being taught in schools. So I don't know, but I just feel like if you can learn about the fact that there are Black people who contributed to the history of this country and elsewhere, and especially if it's being restricted, it feels very necessary for that reason. Because where else would they learn it then? If you have to learn it somewhere else. And if someone's doing it because it's the month and they're doing a special on TV, and so the kids can get the information on TV or a YouTube channel rather than because they can't get it in school, then I'm for it.
So this is actually an interesting topic, because I know in most things, even though we don't always agree, there are certain things I guess we seek to have some time of common grounds with. And in this area, I completely disagree. I think this holiday is a joke, not in its maybe intention, and I don't know what that, I believe it is to present a place or an opportunity for people to learn during a specific month, which I guess is kind of cool, but I don't see the value in this holiday, or this, I guess it is a month of a holiday, right? From the perspective of, I don't think what its intention is how it's being conveyed. Yeah, so I don't think the intention of the month is what exactly is conveyed to people. And I think it does the intention of the month a disservice by putting it all in a specific period of time. So I think if the goal is to help others be educated on the accomplishments and contribution, thank you, of Blacks to this country's infrastructure, history, and so forth, to then say let's learn all of that or learn about that within a month does not do that. I think it cheapens those people and all of the people who have made contributions, because with other people who have also made contributions from other cultures don't have a month. They're just celebrated. And I think that if that's what the goal is, to celebrate someone and their accomplishments and contributions, then to say it should only happen during a certain period of time within a year does not make sense to me. And yeah, so I think this holiday is not necessary. I think this month, the way it's set up, is not necessary. I think
And
it
I
should.
just want to be very clear, when Winston says there are others that don't have a particular month delegated to them, he's talking about white history and European history. Let's just be very clear, because there is Asian Awareness Month, there is Hispanic Awareness Month, there are other months, but what he's referring to, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the one that doesn't get a month because it's discussed all the time is that of white and European history. Yeah, are we on the same page with that?
Yes, I guess. What happens during Asian Awareness Month, or those months?
Same thing that happens during Black History Month.
So
It's
people who
Asian
are from
History
that
Month.
race, they're discussed.
Their
Yeah. Okay. So
contributions
then,
are highlighted, and same thing with Hispanic Heritage Month.
okay. So then, yes. So if that is what's going on, I think all of those holidays should just be common knowledge. It should, if you're teaching history, then it should just be history, and the relevance of a person and their contribution during that period of time. If it helps advance a class that you're learning in or something, then I just don't understand why it should be a certain month that you learn about that person. And again, I'm not in academics, so maybe if just an overall school schedule, it's easier to separate things. Maybe those are aspects of it. Um, but I feel like this is a holiday that is specific to people in school and kids that are being taught these things. And outside of maybe some type of signs, I guess. I don't feel like I see signs about this anyway. I feel like I just see advertisements, and I don't
Because,
even watch ads anymore.
leave it to capitalists to find a way to make money on something. But I will say that also, you keep
Yeah.
saying holiday. And so
That's what I'm saying, because I don't know what that. I
want
don't
people to
really
be
know what this is.
clear, it's not a holiday, it's a history month. So it's just a recognition and acknowledgement of accomplishments, etc., during that month. And because of that, like, that means that the people who don't get a month, it's because we're learning about it all the time, which would be, there is no such thing as a white history month because we're learning about it all the time. So I get what you're saying, which is, the point is, it should be all history all of the time. Everybody should be learned about. It shouldn't be that a group of people get one particular month.
Month to be educated. Yeah. Do
Right.
other countries, and people, if you're in the comments, please chime in. Do other countries, are there other nations that do something similar to this?
No, it's
That
an American
teach
thing. It's
culturally?
like
Oh, okay.
23, it's like ancestry.com, right? Only people in America do ancestry.com. People in Nigeria are not trying to figure out if they're Nigerian or not. People in Ireland are not trying to figure out, ooh, like what percent. No, people in China are like, I'm Chinese. Like, it's an American thing, because it is a group of people who have immigrated to this country, and now you have all of these differences, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, that being said, I would probably say the closest thing to this is probably ironically, in the UK and maybe France and maybe Spain. So some parts of Europe, you do have a large immigrant population. And so do they have African History Month in France? Because I don't know if
Yeah,
they
we'd
call
have
their
to look into
people
that.
African. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But
So
anyway, I do know that it is much more of an American thing than in other
anything else?
places.
Okay.
To even for people to even be curious about their own identities, right? Like, they're doing ancestry testing to determine their own identities. Well, we're not the only ones who have some thoughts about this. If you've read the description below, you already know what we're going to watch. But
Oh, goodness.
he is the, like, he is the voice that you want to hear in every single documentary, right? Like
He is the voice of God.
that too. But obviously, someone who is an amazing, an extraordinary actor, who himself has contributed greatly to, I would say, the artistic culture of the American landscape. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us hear from Morgan Freeman.
Black History Month you find
Ridiculous.
why?
Let's go,
You're
Morgan.
going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? No,
Well-
no, come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No.
No, I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism?
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
All right. So you heard it from Morgan Freeman and his thoughts. He then goes on to talk about how to get rid of racism, which I think is another topic. So I'm not going to touch on that specifically. But I just go back to, I don't think, okay, so to be clear, I don't think necessarily Black History Month solves the problem of like what's going on in Florida right now. To me, it's just a Band-Aid. But things that are happening like in Florida, where you cannot learn about the fact that, again, Africans were enslaved and what slavery did, and perhaps that, like, for example, a historical figure during slavery, Harriet Tubman, cannot learn about her in Florida. And to me, I would like for us to come up with a way to figure out how we can help with that. And I'm not saying that Black History Month is the solve. I'm just saying it's a little bit of help if it can create avenues for people's understanding and like education. Like we can use it for that purpose. Like it can be used for that purpose, but I don't think it's necessarily the solution. So like the necessary, is Black History Month necessary?
But why does learning about her solve, or what would that do? Help you be? I don't understand that.
So
What does that do?
If you don't understand history, you're bound to repeat it. That's number one, right? So if you don't even know that something has happened in the past and the result of what happened, right, you're bound to repeat it. So that's number one for me, why you should learn about history. And also essentially, by not teaching it, it's almost like ignoring that it even happened. And so you're going to ignore something that happened, and yet the repercussions, and see, this is when we start talking about racism, but the repercussions of it are still felt to this day. And so it doesn't, to me, why is it okay to teach, again, about European history, but just like not talk about that, just like erase it? We should be learning about all of it. I'm not saying that like we should only learn about that. I'm saying we should be learning about it all. So why are we taking that off the plate of what there is to learn about history?
Okay, that point makes sense. That point to me tracks. If we're learning history, you should just learn history. I agree with Morgan in the sense that I know you said you didn't want to get into necessarily where he was, or the last statement he makes about just treating each other as people, and therefore that would, I know the guy's question was how do we solve racism, and I agree. If you just treated each other as a person, it would. I don't know the answer to that yet. I just agree in the sense of I don't see how talking about you were talking about how if we don't discuss the history of what took place, that we are in fact doomed to repeat it. And I feel like that's just something that we say now. We don't necessarily know that the future is being held to that same.
I disagree. I disagree. For another show, we can talk about, and if you want to put it in the comments, for all the things that people don't know, and then it's things are repeated.
Yeah, but
There's
why do I need to learn that other people enslaved black people to know I don't want to enslave a person? Like I don't get that. I need to learn about other people that were also enslaved to help me now not want to make that decision. I don't.
I think
Yeah,
it's
and
more
to me
nuanced than
that
that.
hasn't.
I think it's way more nuanced than that. And we don't have the
What does
time
that
to
mean?
get into all that. I don't think it's just, oh, you should just know enslaving people is a bad thing. Why do I need to
No, but
learn about the history of one
I didn't say
enslaved
you should
people?
know it. I didn't say you should know it. I'm just asking, how does learning about that
Right.
inform you of
Because,
not?
and the question implies that because if the implication is I don't need to know it to know that enslaving anybody, I don't care where they're from in the world, is a bad thing. So what is the importance of learning the history of it if the history is only to teach me not to do it again in the future? I should know that enslaving anybody, no matter where they're from on the planet, is a bad thing. And I'm saying it's a little bit more. There are more layers to just that, because that statement is correct. I should just know that enslaving humans anywhere on the planet is not a good thing. It's not treating someone, not identifying their humanity. So what I'm saying is that there are places and spaces where honestly, for me, this becomes really, really political, because there are people in politics who are saying things that I feel like are a representation of people not trying to tell the whole history. For example, when people are like, yeah, slavery was a good thing, like it actually helped people. It helped them become stronger, and like without it, they wouldn't be the people that they are today, or something to that impact. As if enslaving a group of people could is like it was like a good thing, like we did them a favor.
Yeah, but I hear that. And if the statement also was true, meaning, and if there was truth to that, it still doesn't make it okay. There can still be truth in that and it not be okay. Like that statement, in fact, it could just be true, and yet it doesn't make what those people had to go through okay that that happened. I think it's the argument that, well, we don't want that statement to be true. That can't be also true, because
And
then
if
if
you
that
don't
makes that
talk,
okay, then
and
it makes it okay to go and enslave people. And I'm not agreeing. I'm not saying one thing has to be okay in order for the other thing to not be true.
and if you want to talk about that and say, and someone's like, it did help people, it helped them in a really good way. And if someone's like, I actually don't agree, it did not help them, but I can't educate you on that, because it's not allowed to educate you on all the ways that it was harmful, because it brings up things in history, then like what I again, it's one of those things where it's like all things in history should be talked about. You shouldn't just leave it like we can talk about one thing, but we can't talk about this other thing, which then allows for statements to be said like slavery was like a good thing, and just leave it to be diagnosed, not diagnosed. It's like uninvestigated. It makes a statement that just seems like a truth without because you can't talk about the history behind it.
Okay. I know we can't obviously get to the this isn't something that we're trying to solve. So I don't want to, and maybe some of my comments make it seem like that's I feel for some of these things, these subjects are or can be or are. You know, no, I'll just end it. I'll leave it there because I'm just gonna keep going.
All right. Well, as always, we want to know what your comments are, your thoughts. Please put them in the comment section. We read them all. We'd love to hear the feedback and love to hear what you guys have to say.
Please do.
But until then, as always, remember that you deserve the good life.
Say that.
Say that.